They say you should never open your door at midnight, no matter who calls your name. I used to think it was just an old superstition, something our grandmothers told us to keep us from sneaking out at night. But now I know better. I know because I lived it. Or at least, I survived it. It started on a quiet night, just like any other. I was in bed scrolling through my phone, too restless to sleep. The soft glow of the screen was the only light in the room. Outside, the wind whispered through the trees, and the crickets sang their usual songs. Then I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. A slow, deliberate tapping at my front door. I froze, my fingers tightening around my phone. My heart pounded in my chest. Who would be knocking at this hour? For a few seconds, I sat still, listening. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe it was the wind against the wooden frame. Then it came again. Knock, knock, knock. Louder this time. I slid out of bed carefully, my feet barely making a sound as they touched the cold floor. The house was dark, but I didn't dare turn on a light. Instead, I crept toward the door, peeking through the thin curtain covering the window. Nothing. The night was empty. The moon cast long shadows on the ground, but I didn't see anyone standing there. Still, something felt wrong. Then I heard it. A voice, low, familiar. Amina, please open the door. It's me. I felt my stomach drop. That voice, it belonged to my brother, Musa. But Musa was dead. I covered my mouth, swallowing the scream rising in my throat. My eyes burned with unshed tears. I wanted to believe it. I wanted, more than anything, to throw open the door and see his face again. But I knew it wasn't possible. A memory surfaced in my mind, one I had tried to bury, Musa's funeral. The way my mother screamed as they lowered the coffin into the ground. The whispers in the village, saying his spirit might not rest because he had died at the river. That river, the one people said was cursed. Amina, why won't you open? It's cold outside. Please. The voice was more desperate now. It sounded just like him, the same tone, the same rhythm, but something was off. My grandmother's warning rang in my ears. Never open your door at midnight, no matter who calls your name. I took a slow step back. The knocking turned into pounding. Bang, bang, bang. The door shook under the force. The handle rattled, twisting as if something was trying to force its way in. I stumbled backward, my breath shallow. My hands trembled as I grabbed my phone and tried to dial for help. No service. I wanted to scream, but fear held my throat tight. Then, silence. The knocking stopped. For a long, agonizing moment, the only sound was my own heartbeat, drumming wildly in my ears. Maybe it was over. Maybe whatever it was had left. Then, a whisper, right outside my window. Amina, I know you're in there. I turned my head slowly, and I saw it, a shadow, tall, human-like, standing just beyond the glass. It didn't move, it didn't breathe, it just stood there, watching me. Then it moved, fast, too fast. I screamed. I ran. I slammed my bedroom door shut and locked it. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped my phone. My chest heaved, but I forced myself to crawl under my bed, pressing my body into the cold floor. Silence. For a moment, I thought I was safe. Then, footsteps. Inside the house. My breath caught. My mind raced. I never opened the door. How did it get in? The sound was slow, deliberate, the soft creak of floorboards as it moved. Closer, closer. My heartbeat was deafening. Then, a hand, reaching under the bed. I screamed. The next morning, they found my house empty. The door was wide open. No signs of a struggle. No signs of forced entry. I was gone. Only my phone remained, lying on the cold floor. And on the screen, the last message ever received. Musa, I'm outside. Please open the door. They found me 2 days later, barefoot, shivering, lying in the middle of the road near the village entrance. My skin was scratched. My clothes were torn. My lips were cracked from dehydration. At least, I survived.